Welcome to Overkill Reviews. I'm Blayne Smith. I'm new here. I'm a comedian in Toronto, and I'm also a metal fan. I mostly listen to death doom, funeral doom, black metal, pretty much anything that makes you a bummer to talk to at parties. And I'm here reviewing the new Bison record. It's called, oh geez, You Are Not the Ocean, You Are the Patient. Whatever that means. This is their 4th studio album and the first out on Pelagic Records. Bison, to give you a bit of a refresher because it's been a while, are a heavy metal band out of Vancouver and a bunch of no-good stoners. They've had a pretty weird past couple of years. They released 3 studio albums that were all pretty solid and then seemingly imploded. The past 5 years have been presumably not great. They got dropped by Metal Blade Records, lost a bassist, found some other bassist, and now here they are again. But the big change? They've dropped the BC. They're just Bison. Is it because they're laying off that BC bud? Well, you heard the album title, so probably not. So first up, we've got Until the Earth is Empty. It starts off the album, and maybe it's the single. Gonna let you down easy. This is definitely a post-whatever album. Kicking it off, you've got a very Baroness Blue record kind of feel to it. It's definitely a lot more varied and experimental than Bison normally is, but at the core, it still sounds like Bison. They've clearly gone through some shit in the past 5 years, and it's changed them, I think, for the better. There's a lot more experimentation with the guitar tone in this record. There's some clean stuff, you've still got your chugging breakdowns, and we get treated to a dank psych solo. Yeah, my only real complaint was that solo didn't last longer. The vocals do a great job of alternating between frustrated shouts and angry growls that at the end of the song come together at the same time and build to a great climax that's gonna be super awesome live. Later on the album, we got Tantrum. Now this is gonna be the song that makes or breaks this album for you. You can all collectively clench your buttholes. There's violin and maybe flute. Clocking in at 7.5 minutes, this is the song that really settles the debate of whether they're a post band now. You're still getting heavy parts, you're still getting chugging breakdowns, but the main guitar tone throughout the whole song is that melancholy post sound that you either love or hate. When you get to the halfway mark, that's when we get our extra instruments. And I ain't mad about the violin. It sounds great. It adds a real spooky, haunting atmosphere. And hearing the bow slowly grind against the strings adds a real emotional weight that does the song great. Flute's dumb though. Next up we've got Ronald Reagan. Let's go with Ragin. This is my personal standout on the album and probably the culmination of the 5 years of bullshit that these guys have gone through. The song starts with what almost sounds like a suicidal, depressive black metal intro. Really slow, really depressing, and then you hit the 2-minute mark. See, when those drums kick in, you know immediately this is going to be the heaviest and angriest song on this album. The drums stand out for me by far on this song. They set the pace great, and they give you a visceral, angry feeling for it. And to go with those great drums is some of James and Dan's best vocal work on this album. James and Dan really kick it up a notch on here, and the growl vocals on this track are some of the heaviest that you're going to get throughout the whole record and really help with that aggressive, hard feeling this whole song has. The anger in those vocals, especially the growled one, are what build this song to the point it gets to and the reason I can't stop listening to it. You've probably guessed by how I'm talking about this record, I'm probably gonna give it a 0. Nah, I'm just sticking around. The record's great. It's a great record. Pretty much the only bad thing I can say about it is I miss a little bit of that dumb guy that was in some of the old Bison records, you know, just drinking a bunch of beers in your mom's basement kind of thing. But it's been a long time. A lot's happened. If they're not making those kind of records anymore, at least this is the record they're making. As mentioned earlier, if you're a fan of Baroness's older stuff, and I mean, pretty obviously, they're on Pelagic, which is the Oceans album. They're not going quite as far as those guys, but they're definitely dabbling. So if anything like that is up your alley, this one's gonna be good for you too. So, it's the rating. I'm gonna give it 4 weeds. Wait, no, 4 bisons. Oh. Sorry, apparently it has to be 4 skulls out of 5 skulls. I've been Blayne. This has been Overkill Reviews. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you catch us next week.